Today's session, I think the first aspect we need to address is what really is a mind, because meditation is all about the mind, right? So the concept of mind has to be clear before we understand the concept of meditation, and especially when you are meditating for your baby and for yourself. Uh, I will be taking you through very quick guidelines or very quick understanding of what really these concepts are. This is not a space where we indulge into a lot of depth and details, right? So a quick understanding, a quick glimpse is what we'll be doing doing in these sessions. Coming to what is mind. As per the scriptures, as per the Upanishads, mind is a part of me, a sheath of me that is made up of these building blocks called as thoughts. That is the simplest answer of what mind really is. And to go in the depth, we have 5 sheets with which we are made up of. Again, all of this comes from the Upanishads. The physical realm, the physical sheath of ourselves, which is called the Annamaya Kosha. Whatever food we eat feeds this part of who I am, right? Then there is the Pranamaya Kosha. This is the vital energy or the life energy sheath that supplies the energy for my daily functioning, for thinking, for walking, for talking. All of those energy needs are met by the Pranamaya Kosha. So the emotions also are part of the Pranamaya Kosha. The emotional intelligence comes as part of the Pranamaya Kosha. Then there is the Manomaya Kosha, which is the mind layer, the sheet of me that is responsible for thinking, for cognition, for anything to do with mind and memory. All of those functions are in the Manomaya Kosha. And third, the fourth layer, the fourth sheath is the Vijnanamaya Kosha. This is the wisdom layer or the intellect layer. All the templates of how I operate, how I think, how I act, how I look, how I speak, all of these templates are situated in this Vijnanamaya Kosha. And then there is the Anandamaya Kosha, the bliss sheath. Beyond all these koshas, beyond who I am, the universal layer for all of us, which is the commonality that connects every being, is the Anandamaya Kosha. And our scriptures say that all these koshas have a dominant tattva. Tattva as in the element that is making up this layer. For example, a stone is solid, right? We have all studied the states of matter. A stone is solid. It is pure Prithvi Tattva. Prithvi as in earth. Solid state of matter where you know the properties of solid. Can take a definite shape, has weight, has mass, and all the molecules are close together, right? That is the Prithvi Tattva. So our body, the Annamaya Kosha, has the dominant tattva of Prithvi. Okay, earth sounds very weird to me, and hence I'll use the Sanskrit vocabulary here. So Prithvi Tattva, the solid element. The Pranamaya Kosha has the element of flow to it, and the dominant tattva there, the dominant element there is liquid, is Jala Tattva. Okay, the emotions flow, the bhavas flow, the energy flows. And the mana is made up of Agni Tattva, the element of fire in English, but ideally plasma, a state that we just touched when we were in school, but we never know what that really is. The mind is made up of that. Okay, it's made up of photons, it's made up of light energy, it's made up of heat energy. And the Vijnanamaya Kosha has the dominant tattva of wind or air, Vayu, right? Wind has the quality of movement, of dynamic movement, of expansion. All of that is associated with the wind. It has the quality of vibration also. And then the Anandamaya Kosha, the bliss sheath, is having the dominant tattva of ether or space. The Akasha is what it is made up of. The quality of Akasha is just to be there, 100% potential, and that's it. Okay, we will focus on mind today. Mind, which is made up of the Agni Tattva. What is the property of fire? You cannot really control the fire, but you can always channelize it, right? It does not have a definite shape of its own. You cannot fill it inside a container and carry it anywhere, but you can continuously channelize it. How? If you would have seen the Homa Kunda or the Agni Kunda, they fuel the fire using the sticks. They contain it in those 4 walls within, right? So that is what the mind is supposed to do. Mind is something that cannot stop thinking. That's its basic functionality. Like how fire cannot stop burning. Once the fire is lit, it keeps burning. You cannot stop it. Similarly, mind also cannot just stop thinking. But what we can do is channelize. And meditation, that's why it's called Dhyana in our culture. It is a way to channelize and focus. Bring your thoughts to one line, to channelize them in one point. That is what is meditation, and that is what we will be doing through these sessions. Now, why meditation for parents to be? Remembering the fact that we are made up of more than 70% of water, right? And the womb, when you're carrying the baby, is filled with water. The amniotic sac is full of the amniotic fluid. That also is water. And water carries memory. There are a lot of experiments that are being done, a lot of controversial things coming up. But what our scriptures say is this: water carries intention, and hence, while doing the sankalpa before a puja or a homa, we use water in our hand to take the sankalpa, to set the intention. And water is also given as tirtha at the end of a puja, because all the mantras, all the vibrations are absorbed by the water, and that is the water that we drink as tirtha at the end of the puja, right? So when you are thinking, you are sending these vibrations inside your body, inside your womb, and they are the channels of communication for your baby, right? They are the sources of information for your baby. And the Buddhist philosophy says that, you think and you become. You are what you think you are, right? Your thinking shapes your reality. And that is absolutely true for your baby, because it is in a realm which is like a very beautiful clay that can be molded in whichever way you want, right? So your thoughts shape the reality of your baby. Now, coming to the question of, does your baby have a mind of its own? Not really. I would like to read something from, I think I shared this on my page also. This comes from the Association of Prenatal and Perinatal Psychology and Health. This is a huge organization that works on understanding the, as the name suggests, prenatal psychology and perinatal psychology. The prenatal environment is not neutral. It is a stream of signals the developing baby interprets as instructions. Before birth, the developing baby is already learning from the world around them. Prenatal and perinatal psychology explores how the earliest environment, through signals of safety, stress, connection, nourishment, and care, helps shape the foundations of human development. These early adaptations are not predictions of a fixed future, but reflections of the remarkable intelligence of a developing system responding to its environment. Research in epigenetics and developmental science continues to reveal that what happens during pregnancy matters. The prenatal environment helps calibrate stress response systems, emotional regulation, and patterns of engagement that can influence health and well-being across lifespan. Yet, one of the most important messages of prenatal and perinatal psychology is that adaptation is not destiny. Human beings remain capable of growth, healing, and transformation throughout life. So basically, the idea is that we are not just shaped by our genetics. Epigenetics is a field that talks about how our external influences can shape the world within us. And that is very, very true when it comes to a human being in the womb, right? And hence prenatal meditation. Hence, it is important. And they are talking about pregnancy, but you are already creating an environment inside you even before the baby arrives. So that also is equally important, and hence prenatal meditation. Coming to, does the baby have a mind of its own? That was one more question that was there, right? No. Simple answer, no. But the early life experiences, when it is an infant or a toddler, the environment that the parents created while the baby was in the womb and in the spirit realm are the foundations using which it will start building and constructing its own mind in the future. Like how they were telling, the early experiences shape the entire lifetime of a baby. It need not be like, fixed destiny. We are flexible. The babies, we are human beings. We are dynamic in nature. We can adapt, but the foundations are built now. And hence this period is called the golden period, where we can absolutely create our entire lifespan. We can create a blueprint for ourselves. That's why the golden period, and that's why once again, the meditation or conscious parenting, conscious conception, and mindful pregnancy, right? And the last bit, I think, was yeah, can meditation help me bond with my baby, whether the baby is in the spirit realm or in the physical realm in the womb? Can this help me bond with my baby? Again, simple answer, yes. How? Imagine your mind to be like a radio, okay? And by thinking, you're tuning your radio to a particular frequency. Can you imagine that? Right? And when we are meditating, when we are channelizing our thoughts continuously, then we are tuning ourselves to the frequency of the baby, the frequency in which the baby exists right now. The subtle part of the baby exists right now. Remember, I talked about the Vijnanamaya Kosha being dynamic, being associated with vibrations, the Vayu Tattva, right? It's a field of potential. That is what we'll be connecting to. And for us, it's very difficult to imagine Vijnanamaya Kosha, the templates, the codes, the algorithms. It is easier to imagine it like a heart. Think of it like a heart. You're connecting your mind to the heart of your baby. And again, heart math, this association called heart math, has amazing research that has, they have come up with these beautiful experiments where the mother was invited to be in coherence as in her mind and the heart were channelized and focused towards the baby. And the baby was in sync with the mother, the heartbeat, the heart rate, and the EEG was completely in sync with the baby. So this was an experiment that was done. So the conscious awareness, consciously focusing on something, especially your baby, which is a very, very powerful, intelligent being, can really help you meditate, can really help you build the life for your baby. Okay, so we'll be using heart as the center of a meditation, like how we started in the beginning, right? So the first idea is just helping. This week, our exercise will be channelizing our breath with the heart. Coming back to the yajna concept, remember I talked about channelizing the fire, containing it within that yajna kunda. You remember, if in olden days also they would use that tube to blow to ensure that there is enough oxygen supply, air supply is happening while the fire is burning, so that the fire does not go off anytime. And the breath that we are taking in and out of the heart acts like that channel, that like that tube that will allow for seamless transmission of information between you and your baby, right? And the heart at the center. We are not talking about the physical heart here. It is the spiritual heart to which we are connected. We have a spiritual heart, our baby has a spiritual heart, and through heart focused breathing, we are connecting our mind, our heart to the baby's heart. And this is literally like picking up a phone and calling, dialing your baby and talking to your baby. That is the channel that we are trying to create through the heart focused breathing. Is that okay? Yeah. So this is the brief that I wanted to give today. And the exercise for this week is just that. Just allow yourself to breathe and focus on your heart as you breathe. That is what we are going to do. In the next week, we will understand why Lalita Trishati Stotram, why her names, and what really is a mantra. Why are we using Lalita Trishati mantra to do the meditation in our sessions every Friday? That is what we will be going into the next week, right? So this week exercise, 5 minutes a day. Just take some time out and do what we are doing right now.